A three-judge panel rules that New Jersey can sue gun manufacturers over public nuisance laws. Let's go ahead and talk about it. What's up, Wolverines? Welcome back to John Crump News. I'm your host, John Crump, and on this channel we discuss 2A issues. Please do me a favor by commenting, and subscribing to the channel. It really helps amplify my voice and gets my voice out there. Today we are brought to you by our friends over at Gideon Optics. Gideon Optics makes some of the highest quality optics on the planet at a very affordable price. So why spend more than you need to on an optic when you can get a quality optic from Gideon Optics? And for a limited time you can use code CRUMP and you get 10% off and free shipping. Thank you, Gideon Optics, for sponsoring this show. Alright, now let's go ahead and talk about what's going on in the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. New Jersey has been suing gun manufacturers, claiming that they are a public nuisance. The National Shooting Sports Foundation, NSSF, has sued New Jersey, claiming that their lawsuits violate the PLCAA. The PLCAA was a law passed back in the day. It stands for the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act. Basically, it prevents gun manufacturers from being sued for things that people do with their products. It's kind of like how you can't sue Ford because someone bought a Ford and drove and killed someone. It's basically the same thing, but with firearms. New Jersey has been ignoring the PLCAA with help of anti-gun groups such as Everytown, Brady, and Giffords. So the NSSF sued them because they are violating the PLCAA by suing all these different gun manufacturers. It went up to the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, where a three-judge panel decided that New Jersey can sue over public nuisance laws, which seems to fly in the face of the PLCAA. But it's the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. Now, it's important to keep in mind that this was in front of a three-judge panel and not the en banc, the full bench. So what I think is the most logical thing to happen is that the NSSF is going to ask for an en banc review of the case, which means if they do get granted an en banc review, it means that the decision that the three-judge panel ruled on would be vacated. It's like it never happened. And then the full bench will hear the case and decide from there. I don't see how New Jersey can win this one, but there's a lot of weird things that happen in the court system. So I would not be surprised if New Jersey does win, even though they shouldn't win. Now, whatever the en banc says, what will probably happen is that it will be appealed to the Supreme Court. Either side will file a writ of certiorari, which is a petition to the Supreme Court asking the Supreme Court to hear the case. Whether the Supreme Court hears the case or not, I can't really say. It is kind of hard to tell what the courts are going to do. I can't even tell you if the en banc is going to be granted, much less a review by the Supreme Court. And I can't tell you what the Third Circuit will decide, even though on the face of it, they should decide that New Jersey cannot sue gun manufacturers over public nuisances. And if New Jersey wins, this will basically be the death of the PLCAA. And I believe that we will see public nuisance laws being used to sue gun manufacturers across the country. They are already using these in places like Philadelphia and Buffalo and other cities, so it would be expanded to the state level, which would be a bad thing. What New Jersey and these anti-gun groups are trying to do is to pit gun manufacturers out of business, or at least prevent new ones from coming into business by making the cost of doing business so high that it's impossible to make a profit. They cannot ban your right to own a gun, so they are trying to go around it by making the supply of guns so minuscule that it's impossible to get a firearm, which is why we have to push back, and which is why we have to support the NSSF in this case. No matter what you think of the NSSF, we have to support them in this case, because if they can shut down gun manufacturers, they basically can shut down our right as Americans to own firearms, even though we can always 3D print them and everything else like that. But then they will start attacking that, and not everyone has the ability, skill, or will to 3D print a firearm. So we'll see what happens going forward from here. But this is not a good victory. It's actually a defeat. But I think it's only a temporary setback, and I think we will win. But who knows what will happen in the courts. All right, guys, we win more than we lose, but we will lose some battles, and just happens to be a case where we have lost a battle. All right, guys, stay ever vigilant, stay ever free, keep in the fight. I am out of here, Wolverines, motherfucker.